There we go. We're live. Hey everyone, or hey yo everyone. Andrew here, doing a live chat with you. I said I would be doing one sometime this week, although to be honest, I haven't really given you guys much notice on what day it was. I think I said it was going to be Saturday at some point. So I figured I might as well just do it. No more dilly dallying around. Plus, I have a little bit of time before the family and I head out. And because I didn't really tell anyone, it might take some time before anyone actually hops on this video. So I figured I'd give this an opportunity to do a discussion about. Mainly, I want to focus on talking about the DC cinematic universe and talking about all the news that's been going on, and maybe even some of the TV shows going on. But really, it's going to be open forum, talking about whatever. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, the DC cinematic universe has really kind of got a lot of, I want to say, notice recently, especially with the Snyder Cut being released and with Man of Steel being released. And I've actually talked to a lot of people about this, a lot of my friends too, in regards to how they feel about all this going on. And it's kind of a lot of mixed feelings, right? Never have I seen a back and forth on movie products or a shared universe or anything like that in forever, right? Um, and it's kind of whiplashy because if you asked me a year ago how I felt about DC films, I would have probably said, whatever. They're going to do their own thing. They're not going to worry about cinematic universe. They're just going to tell stories. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, yeah, they're connected to Justice League, but they're doing their own thing. So who really cares? Same thing with Birds of Prey, kind of connected, but they're kind of not. So, um, but they're now doing Joker and the Batman, and it's just kind of doing their own thing. Morning to you, Optimus Prime. Appreciate it. It is technically still morning. It's almost 12 o'clock. But yes, anyways, so I didn't really think that the DCEU was ever going to come back in as strong as it would have, right? I know there would have been standalone films, but I never thought that there would be a possibility for another Justice League film happening so soon, or even happening at all. I honestly thought Justice League was not going to get another film for maybe 10 years, and I know that's kind of a extreme thing to think, but it is. That's how I felt. And now that we're getting the Snyder cut, right, and now that Henry Cavill is still going to be Superman, right? Well, what does this mean about the DC cinematic universe, or what does this mean about Justice League going forward, right? There's a lot of talks that the HBO Justice League is going to be 6 hours long, or at least 6 episodes long, possibly 4.5 hours, right? That's pretty much double what Justice League was. So, how much of this story that Zack Snyder was going to do is actually almost said Scott Snyder that Zack Snyder actually was going to do show up, right? It's are we going to how much of Dark Side are we going to see? Are we going to see Batman sacrifice himself to protect John Kent, which was going to be a thing? Are the Justice League going to go to Apocalypse? I don't know. So that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. I just want to kind of talk the cinematic universe, but I'm open to talk about whatever. If you guys have questions, this is also going to be a Q&A session. If you have questions, just post the questions down below. I'll be glad to take any questions. As you can see, I'm wearing my Saiyan power armor. I'm embodying my inner Vegeta for this video, and I decided to do different perspectives. So you can see my two favorite posters I have: Detective Comics #27 and Batman Hush, Batman, or Jim Lee Batman Hush. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So, yeah, this is going to be very disorganized. It's been a while since I've done a live video, so I'm just going to kind of wing it, right? And again, any and all questions you ask, I will gladly answer. So yeah, so let's talk about what we could get from the Snyder Cut and what I want to see, and let's also talk about Man of Steel and Henry Cavill being back, and let's kind of really dig into that first, because I think that's the more exciting news, maybe. The more exciting prospects, because I think no matter what happens with Justice League on HBO Max, I think is the story is ultimately probably going to end there. I don't think we're going to get a sequel. Although many of the actors may still be on board for it, I don't think Ben Affleck would be, and I don't know if AT&T and Warner want to push out another Justice League film. I could be wrong, right? But Superman, right? What could we be getting from Superman? What could we be getting from a Man of Steel sequel? What could we be getting from him around the DC universe? Let me tell you something. If we don't do Man of Steel sequel and we just do him across the DCEU, I think the most logical place for him to show up next is Shazam 2. Um, there was an old, not old, but like in the past 10 years, there was a movie. I forget the exact title of it. It was an animated film, Superman, Shazam. I think it was Superman, Shazam versus Black Adam. And it was a great film. And I thought the idea of having a movie where you have Superman kind of mentoring Shazam and teaching him the ropes of being the superpowered person facing off against Black Adam, and then you have, The Rock come in as Black Adam would be a fantastic, fantastic thing. Hayden just commented, Henry Cavill thing is weird. Like WB is willing to have him in supporting roles, but still don't want to pay him what he's asking for starring in movies. Yeah, I agree. It is very weird, and I think it's definitely I think it's Warner not wanting to commit to something because of the negativity of Man of Steel and maybe Justice League or BVS, right? I think a lot of us fans are assholes. Let's be straight. Let's be honest. Us fans, we are assholes. We're super critical of everything that gets put out in front of us, and I'm guilty of this too. I have kind of relaxed in my elder years, but like it's hard not to get a piece of media from any source, any comic book source, and not pick it apart, right? So I think when you get something like BVS, which you can talk about the structure of the film, you could talk about the dialogue or the Martha thing and all that stuff, but there was some glaring things about it that as a comic book fan myself, I was not too happy about. Batman killing Superman not quite as Superman as he should be. How the violence was portrayed. Like Batman was viciously ruthless in it. And Lex Luthor didn't feel Lex Luthor. I think us as fans can't accept different interpretations of stuff. Like I don't see why we have to be so critical on something like that and then be pissed that we get more of it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we're the ones that hurt Henry Cavill not getting that he has to go through so many fucking channels to get the Superman role back. I'm not saying he lost it, but like they probably weren't going to bring him back. And now because of the Snyder cut, because of everything that's going on with his exposure with Witcher and stuff like that, he's become a good commodity. And now DC and Warner Brothers want to use him, but they don't want to use him in his own film. And again, we don't know for sure if that's going to be the case, but like come on, if it is the case, that's pretty bullshit. But I mean, part of the problem is us. We're too critical. I think Man of Steel was a good film. I don't think it deserves the hate that it got. I think Batman v Superman had a lot of good things in it. It did have a lot of bad things in it. I don't think it should get as much hate as it did. But yeah, and then Justice League was, it was a mishmash of two films put together. So I think that's also a problem too. He deserves better because he's really been a fantastic Superman. And I think a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but I think Henry has been a better Superman than the Superman we got in the CW. Let me just suggest, not to say that he's a bad Superman. I love, CW Superman, even though he kind of gets bitched around by everyone in the show. I liked him a lot. But I do think Henry Cavill is probably the best Superman we've had in years. Although close second to that is probably Brandon Routh coming back as Kingdom Come Superman. That was pretty sick, and he got jacked for it, and he looked the part big time. But yeah, I think it's bullshit that he's has to go through so much hoops for such a good actor on that movie and for the role. And I mean, if you watch the Witcher stuff, he's really good in that too. So yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Um, but yeah, again, guys, if you have any questions or anything you want to say, please post it. I want this to be as much of a discussion about DC films as it is question and answer, so that you can again ask anything. It doesn't have to be about DC films. It can be about DC Comics, anything, video games, whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of my feelings on Superman, Man of Steel, and how he's getting kind of bullshit on that. I do think it'd be cool if he did show up in the Shazam film, Superman, Shazam, Black Adam, three-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. I think it would be pretty cool. I think if they did do Man of Steel sequel, I know I pitched this beforehand, but I think what would be really cool is if in Man of Steel 2, Brainiac was involved, Supergirl was involved, kind of do that thing. You can even have Superboy show up as like a clone of Superman because he did die, right? We did have the death of Superman, Batman v Superman, but we really kind of left that hanging. So why not have Superboy show up, or even the Eradicator, right? You can have some of those people show up too. But I really think that if they utilize another Superman villain, it should be Brainiac. It without a doubt. They've done Zod to death. They've done Luthor to death. And I'm not saying that you can't have Luthor in the film. Give Jesse Eisenberg another chance. But like, I think it should be Brainiac and have that connection between Brainiac, have that connection between Krypton, Supergirl, and Superman. That four-way connection. It synchronizes so well. I'm curious to see what you guys think about what you think the sequel to Man of Steel, if it did happen, what it would be. But that is Man of Steel, right? If we talk about the DC EU and we talk about where it can kind of go from here after the Snyder Cut, right? If the Snyder Cut happens, right, what is considered the canonical Justice League film? Is it the Snyder Cut because it was supposed to be that as the original film, or is it the film we got with Snyder and Joss Whedon? And then where do we go from here? Because everything feels like it's up in the air. I guess you still have, Wonder Woman going on. You still have Aquaman kind of going on. But, like, where does the Flash stand up in there? I know Ezra Miller kind of got in trouble with getting physical with a fan, though no statement has been released by him about that. So, I don't know. But is he still going to be a Flash? Are we going to get a Cyborg film? Are we going to get a Green Lantern film? I don't know. Are they going to be set in the cinematic universe, or is it going to be something more akin to, what is it called, like the Batman that's coming out? That in itself is going to be interesting. The fact that we have two universes, right? The Batman, then we have the Joker, and then we have the DC cinematic universe. So, again, please, if you guys have questions, please bring them up. I would be glad to answer them. But yeah, let's talk about what could be happening with this Snyder Cut. So we know that Martian Manhunter is going to be showing up in it. So that's going to be definitely a thing. We're going to get a little Martian Manhunter. We're going to be getting some Darkseid. We're going to be getting more of a flashback that involves Darkseid. So I guess the original idea was to have Darkseid in the battle instead of Steppenwolf. Which would have made more sense. Thinking that Darkseid could have been beat by everyone was, I don't know. I guess he would be fighting Zeus and Ares and all the other people. So maybe it might make sense. But that's supposed to happen, and we were originally supposed to be getting Green Lantern show up. I don't know if we're going to get a Green Lantern, but I hope we do because I want to see my boy Hal. So yeah, those are the things that are definitely confirmed. They keep on throwing out a little bit trailers. I don't know if we're gonna get Black Suit Superman either, but if we did, that'd be pretty cool because I liked the little Easter egg they gave of it. But to actually have him in it would have been pretty sweet also. So yeah, 20 million doesn't seems like a lot, but I don't know if it's enough to really expand the story past what was originally supposed to be done. And then news today, apparently DC is, or Warner Brothers, still in talks with Harley Quinn actress Margot Robbie to do a Harley Quinn film, even though Birds of Prey didn't do all that well. And I think that's kind of unfair to Birds of Prey, because I think it was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. I don't think it deserved the hate that it got, because I think a lot of the hate is people thinking it's a woke film and a bunch of chicks beating up men and liberation and all that stuff. I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it was very much a Harley Quinn film that the Birds of Prey were around in, and they just beat up Black Mask. And the Birds of Prey are traditionally a female team, so it makes sense. But I was a little concerned that they were going to continue with her as the actress, because I heard rumors that she was not keen on the role anymore, and that Suicide Squad was going to be her last film. But I guess not. I guess she's going to do another Harley Quinn film, which I'm all for, because I think she's a great actress for Harley Quinn. I don't know if she's perfect, but I definitely think she's great. So yeah, talking about all this DC stuff makes me miss my comic load. It's been nearly 3 months since I picked up comics. Some people are actually able to get to the comic shop. I think my comic shop did have the opportunity to pick up some comics, but I wasn't able to do so. Oh, on that note, I know I'm jumping around a lot. This is what happens when I do things live. I'm not very organized. I do have my beginner's guide to Batman already complete and ready to go, so I'm probably going to drop that off later tonight. Um, Birds of Prey. Oh, I lost it. Why is everything undo? I think I just screwed up the comments. 1 second. Top comments. Okay. See this live thing here. Cancel. Unhide. I'm sorry. I might have just hidden your comment. So if you want to send that back out, Hayden, I'm sorry about that. Why do they have you hide comments? That's so stupid. YouTube, you suck sometimes. Hayden, comment again. For some reason, your comments were hidden, and then I just unhid them. I swear I don't hate you. I promise. I like you. I just hit the wrong button when I was trying to look. What the fuck? Anywho, what were we talking about? Oh, my beginner guide to Batman. I have that ready to go. I'll post it up later on tonight, probably. It was between that or Nightwing. There was back and forth with people on the comments. I plan to do the Nightwing one next. It's just I've been itching to do the Batman one. Oh, here we go. Hayden, thank you. I was saying that Birds of Prey felt a lot like the New 52 Harley comics. Yes, you're definitely right with that. It had a huge feel with the direction and the story and the direction and the costumes. I think that's the thing that pissed me off the most about Birds of Prey is we've been getting pretty comic book accurate costumes for a while, and we didn't get it in there. I mean, Harley's costume can be silly and goofy, but like Black Canary's costume was not comic book accurate, right? I guess you can slide with Renee Montoya. Cassandra Cain wasn't even comic book accurate herself, let alone her costume. Huntress kind of got a pseudo costume at the end, but I didn't care for the costume design on that. Black Mask is the only one that had kind of costume that was comic book accurate. But I agree, it took a lot of inspiration. They should have definitely did a Mad Love story, a Paul Dini Mad Love story. It's the quintessential Harley Quinn story, and you could have had the Mad Love story kind of tailspin into her leaving the Joker. But I guess they didn't want to use Jared Leto. And listen, I'm going to say a bold statement here. I don't think Jared Leto was as bad as the Joker everyone says he is. I don't even think he's that bad. He was definitely a different Joker. I didn't care for the tattoos. But, I mean, am I wrong here in thinking that he wasn't that bad as the Joker? like it's hard to do a Harley Quinn liberation movie about her emancipating herself from the Joker and never actually having the Joker in there. So I think that was definitely a missed opportunity, and I don't blame Jared Leto for what happened with Suicide Squad, and I think he got gypped on Suicide Squad. But was he really a bad? Am I alone in this and thinking that he wasn't that bad? I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. But the next Harley film has to be solid, and it needs to be good. It needs to have Poison Ivy in it. It needs to take a lot of hints from the animated series. It needs to take a bit of, I would even say a little teeny, an itsy bitty inspiration from, what's it called? The Harley Quinn cartoon, which isn't that bad. Get a little bit more, not a goofy feel, but bring in that cast. That would have been fun. I think Hayden said, I think Margot will at least stay to do Siren movie because she said a lot that she wanted to do in its portrayal of Harley and Ivy's relationship. I agree. Harley and Ivy's relationship definitely has not been portrayed at all. And I think that's definitely probably the best relationship she has, as opposed to with the Joker. So they need to get Harley Quinn on there. And once again, I'm doing this on my phone, so you gotta forgive me. Clark Nova, what's up? Hey, yo. Um, it wasn't a bad joke. He just got a bad cut. I agree 100% about that. So I'm glad I'm not alone in this. Andrew, do you think Bill will get his own movie, or do you think he'll buy the whole DC Hulk thing? Um, yeah, I think it, I think there's a better chance of him getting a Man of Steel too. I think it would be foolish for them not to. I think he'll at least get a Man of Steel too, and then he'll be sprinkled across the DC EU, if the EU still exists. I think he'll get into Shazam somehow. I think if they decide to do a Green Lantern core movie, maybe he might show up in that. Who knows? I'd love to see them take some inspiration from Black Label, Harleen miniseries. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I haven't finished Harleen. I have issue 1 and 2 up there. Obviously, because comics are closed, I can't get the rest. But I've heard really good stuff about that series too. It would be also pretty cool if they took a little bit of inspiration from White Knight and have. It would be kind of cool if she wasn't the first Harley. Have two Harleys, maybe. I don't know. Who knows, right? But that was an interesting Harley that showed up. A smarter Harley, a more methodical Harley. Why not? Um, the Franklin Ricken. I want to be excited about the Justice League Snyder cut. The Snyder cut. I like the Justice League film, as that's my favorite superhero team. I feel guilty, however, bringing back Snyder means the return of NRA Batman comments. Much love, longtime follower. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I I don't think he's going to bring back gun shooting Batman. I think we all know that was a problem. I think Snyder knows that was a problem. I think he definitely has a certain feel and touch towards how he wants to portray his darker Batman, but I think he also has a character arc for Batman, and that character arc includes Batman, being able to trust people and not be as much of an asshole, not be as dark. And I don't think he'll bring back, gun shooting Batman. He better not, because as we all know, that would be pissing me off. Okay, let's pull up the next comment. Cancel. Okay, did you hear that Patterson didn't want to work out for the role for the Batman role? What do you think? I did hear that. I don't know how true that is, so let's pretend it is true, because it possibly could be. I think it's bullshit that he doesn't want to. I mean, Patterson's not a arrow-shaped guy, from what I remember. I mean, he looks like he relatively takes care of himself. He's definitely not chubby or anything, but I mean, the guy needs to put on muscle. Simple fact, right? If you're playing a superhero, you got to put on the muscle. Sounds kind of bad. Sounds a little, I don't know, old school, right? but Batman's jacked. He's in the peak physical condition. So Patterson's doing that. Patterson, sorry. I used to have a customer named Pedersen. His last name was Pedersen. So I tend to default to that. But Patterson is not willing to do that. Like, fuck, man. Like, do your job, right? And a lot of these Hollywood actors can get jacked for the 8, 10 months that they need to for the film, and then you can go back to yourself. And again, I don't think he has that much that he needs to go to get in shape. Um, I don't know, that does bother me hearing that because it makes me think he's a bit of a diva, and I hope that doesn't happen. But you know what? To be honest, right? Christian Bale was a bit of a diva. Maybe not on the set of Batman, but just in general. And right, he might be a passionate actor, so that might be why. I think that is the why in his case. But like, I'm sure it's not the first time that we're gonna get. It's not the first time that we got in a Batman actor who might have been a teeny bit of a diva. As long as he doesn't use guns, I'll be happy, right? I heard they were doing jujitsu, which and probably not full contact. Interesting that they would do jujitsu with Batman, um, because jujitsu is more of a sports martial arts, in my opinion, than a practical combat martial arts or self defense. Um, Maybe because it's popular right now. And this is no disrespect for anyone that does jujitsu. I have cross trained with jujitsu, and I think it's a fantastic form of martial arts. But you're just not going to get someone in the ground when you're fighting 2, 3 people, and roll around on the ground with someone, and then not worry about the other ones. I would say Batman. I mean, here we go. Right, me as a martial artist dissecting Batman's fighting style. Batman's fighting style is that he has 127 martial arts to his name, and I just assume all Batmans do. And he has a blend of all of it. But a lot of his martial arts are straightforward self defense, right? I like to think he has a bit of Taekwondo, a little bit of Krav Maga, some Kempo thrown in there, Jeet Kune Do, because we've seen him do some of that. And some Muay Thai and some traditional boxing. I think he kind of blends that together with some basic military combat, close quarter combat fighting style. Wow. I fucking just dissected Batman's fighting style. But like keeps on falling asleep, so I keep on switching it up. So yeah, it's interesting that they would want to do jujitsu, but hey, whatever. It's all good. Again, as long as I don't get him using a gun, I'm cool with it. I'm curious to see how they're going to do Catwoman and how she's going to portray it in fighting style. Are they going to do the femme fatale fighting style? Because you know what? What was her name? Anne Hathaway. She really didn't do. She kind of looked the part for Selena Kyle. They got the costume kind of down, but when she fought, it was very vanilla, right? It wasn't Selena doing cartwheels and backflips and random trips and whipping people around. Did she even have a whip in that movie? If anyone remembers if Selena Kyle had a whip in Batman Dark Knight Rises, let me know. I do not remember if she did. Like, I think that Michelle Pfeiffer had a better style of fighting than or more akin to Catwoman than Anne Hathaway did. But um, Clock Nova, did you have any issues with Dark Knight Rises? And do you have a review video? I think when it first came out, I might have had a first impression video. Do I have any issues with Dark Knight Rises? I would have to rewatch it because I think I did at one point have some issues, but I've grown to love more throughout the years. I'm kind of an oddball with the Dark Knight trilogy because my favorite film in it is Begins. Um, do I have any issues? No, not really. I think the only thing that they could have. Oh no. Well, see, here's the thing. At the end, know how they do that wink and nod that Bruce Wayne's still alive, and that he kind of nods to Alfred, and I get why they did that, and for a cinematic purpose, it works out. I think it would have been a whole lot more metal if they actually killed Bruce Wayne off and kept him dead. It would have been a full, complete story for him. But I guess you can have your cake and eat it too with the fact that he's still considered dead by Gotham. I also think it would have been cool if we saw a little bit more of what would have come from uh, Robin, right? What was his name? John Blake, I think it was. Whatever Joseph Gordon-Levitt played. See him transform into either Nightwing or the next Batman. But again, it's a movie, you can only cram so much into it. I liked Bane. Uh, I liked the fights that were in it. I had no problem. Maybe a different bat suit. Here's another thing, right? Another thing people would probably be pissed at me about. I did not like the Dark Knight suit. I thought the Batman Begins one was a lot better. I think it contoured to the body a lot better. It made him look more imposing, intimidating, big. I felt like the Dark Knight suit, which was later used for Dark Knight Rises, was not good. So I wouldn't have mind a redesign on that. But no, Dark Knight Rises was great. That whole trilogy was so good. It wasn't as comic booky as the films we get today, but it was just such a good trilogy, with great actors doing great portrayals. Were they perfect portrayals? No, but they were great portrayals, and it told a story. You know what? Actually, if I did have a complaint, I think the time elapse of Bruce Wayne being gone from being Batman was a little too long. Wasn't like something like 7 years he was gone? It's just Bruce Wayne sitting down for 7 years just doesn't sound right to me. I don't know. If they decide to continue Batman in the main DCEU continuity without Affleck, would you want to see Battle for the Cowl? Um, that would have been cool if they had set it up, but they really hadn't, because we have not seen any of the Robins. And I think DC needs, if they're going to do a movie like that, they need to have some kind of setup. In my opinion, I think it would be awesome. Battle for the Cowl was fun, and it was a great story for Dick and Tim, but there was no setup in the Robins. Honestly, what I think the next Batman film should be, right? I know it's been done animated, but something involving Jason Todd coming back, a Under the Hood movie, because they kind of set that up a little bit in Batman v Superman with the Robin costume. I don't know if that was supposed to be Dick or Jason, because I heard somewhere that it was Dick, but I just pretend it's Jason, and have that movie go on. That would be pretty cool. And then you can kind of segue into Battle of Cal. Again, the problem is Affleck's not going to be Batman. I think they're just going to recast him and have someone else play the role. And that might be the only way that you get another Batman film DCEU, or even get another Justice League film. You have to recast Batman and or kill him. Plain, flat, and simple. Um, and you can, that's why I think that Batman should die at the end of this Justice League Snyder Cut. It won't happen, but I like the idea that, I think originally the plans for Snyder for Batman was that Batman was going to sacrifice himself to protect Lois and John Kent, and that was going to be the end of it. And if they could pull that off in the Snyder Cut, I think that'd be an easy way to get rid of the Batman for Ben Affleck, and so that we can focus now on Patterson, not Patterson, Patterson. Jeez, Patterson's Batman, and focus on him. What do you think about Affleck saying the role got to him negatively? Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't know if it was specifically the role of Batman or if it was just the fact that what the role represented for the time. I don't know much about Affleck's personal life, but I know that when he was doing the role and the work schedule that was going into it and the commitment that was going into it, it was having a strain on his marriage, which was, I guess, already strained. Again, I don't know Affleck's life, so maybe it's not right for me to comment on this, but it was having a strain on his relationship and his marriage. He started drinking a lot, started gambling a lot more, and I think it just kind of fell apart from there. So I don't know if it was specifically Batman that caused it. I mean, he also was kind of hedging into a directing role. My buddy Sammy pointed this out. You also have to consider the fact that he was less of an actor at the time and starting to become more of a director, which is true. So I don't know if it was Batman specific or was just the fact that that role happened to be the role that is an intense role that he was playing at the time that kind of coincided with a bunch of other stuff. I can hear my kids right now banging stuff against the wall downstairs. They're trying to get attention. I know they are. I would so want him to be back because he was a good Batman, right? if you put the killing aside and the Martha aside, like, he looks the part. He's got the physical presence. He's got the acting chops. I was just on HBO Max rewatching Justice League to kind of get my headspace going, and like, he's a good Bruce Wayne too. Like, I think they really missed the ball with how they treated him and how they treated that character. Because I'm not saying he's the perfect actor, but I think he definitely could have gone far with the story and with the character, and it's a pretty and a shame that they didn't keep going with him. And I really would have been curious to see what kind of story they were going to do with his story with Jeff Johns, because I know they had something in the works. He reminded me a lot of animated series versions, specifically Bruce Wayne aspect. Yeah, I agree. I think subtleties, right? Subtleties that he did with mannerisms and how he approached and how he talked. Stuff that stood out to me is like um, when he was trying to steal the KGB's phone and copy it and gave that guy a couple little hints in the fight that felt very animated series Bruce Wayne. When he was at Luthor's party, oh, especially when he was talking to Clark, felt animated Bruce Wayne. Even at the end of Justice League, when he said he bought the bank, felt like animated Bruce Wayne. So I agree with you 100% on that. He was embodying his inner Kevin Conroy. It's a shame Kevin Conroy wasn't a little bit younger and looked a little bit more like Batman. Not to say you have to. I mean, fuck. Look at Batman '89, right? Um, um, Not at all what Batman would have looked like, but still pull it off. But it's just a shame that Kevin Conroy isn't younger, because getting him as a true live action Batman, not necessarily one that we got in Crisis, but a true live action Batman, that would have been fucking amazing. Because no one's got the voice down as good as him. I actually ordered. I've fallen a little bit more in love with Affleck's Batman, and for a silly reason. I tweaked my arm while weightlifting today. Um, there's this Mafex, I think it is Mafex figure line. If anyone knows about this figure line, do a shout out. And they're releasing a Batman Hush Mafex figure, which looks to be the most comic book accurate comic book accurate Hush figure or comic book accurate Jim Lee figure. It's gorgeous. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go and look at it right now. Mafex, Mafex. Type in Mafex Batman Hush. It's a gorgeous looking figure. Expensive, but gorgeous looking. I ordered two of them. One to display, and if I ever meet Jim Lee again, one to get signed by him. And they also do these gorgeous, realistic figures for movies, right? So you got Star Wars, Marvel movies, and of course DC. They did a beautiful, gorgeous looking Mafex Batman from Batman v Superman and from Justice League. And I got the Batman v Superman one for wicked cheap, or maybe it was the Justice League one for wicked cheap. You see the Bostonian me for wicked cheap, right? I parked my credit card into that car. No, I got that figure for cheap. It looks gorgeous. Um, it looks gorgeous, and honestly, I might pick up the tactical suit one too, because they're gorgeous looking figures. Off topic. Ryan Reynolds as Lantern rumor. Who would you cast? There's a rumor about Ryan Reynolds being Lantern. I think I might have heard something funny, but I don't think he ever get back to the role. Um, I don't know who I would make Hal Jordan that's feasible, but I will tell you. Okay, I'm telling you an unlikely scenario, but I'll tell you who should be the actor. Chris Pine. I know he was Stephen Trevor, but have Hal Jordan be a descendant of Stephen Trevor. I think that would be a feasible thing. I think he would be a great Hal Jordan. I think he has a look. I think he has the presence. I think he has the charisma, the cowboyishness. And let's be honest, the Kirk that was portrayed in the films, the newer films, feels a bit like Hal Jordan. You gotta understand, a lot of people have a misconception of Kirk being this womanizing lady man cowboy guy, and yeah, he was a little bit more loosey goosey than Picard was, but Kirk was very straight by the book. But the Kirk that was portrayed in the new films is a little bit more roguish, a little bit more swashbuckling, and that's kind of like Hal Jordan. So I think he would be um, a really fantastic Hal Jordan, and they're not going to do it, right? Be a damn shame if they because of it, but he would be a really cool Hal Jordan. Um, I'm curious to what you guys think about cast. I'm terrible with casting things because I don't know movie actors because I don't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck about Hollywood because I think they're. I think this pandemic that's going on. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the pandemic on YouTube, but I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, I think people are starting to realize how little people care about Hollywood, how little they affect our society, and how they leech off us. I'm not saying get rid of Hollywood, right? Because I love movies, I love TV shows, but I think we're starting to realize that no one cares about your Instagram or your movie or you being relevant. No one cares, Madonna, that you're in a pool full of roses while some guy's playing what, a piano or a cello or whatever. No one gives a shit. You know who's been comforting me through this pandemic other than my family? My Nintendo Switch and your boy using G Max Charizard to sweep in rank competitions, right? Side note, right? If you want to crush it in ranked competitions, G-Max Charizard or Dynamax Gyarados, right? G-Max Charizard, Max Airstream, get that speed boost and start crushing it with your Solar Beams or your Fire Blast or your Dragon Pulse and just start sweeping. I use Hurricane, by the way. Or you get Gyarados, do some Dragon Dancing, and just start sweeping. This isn't a Pokemon podcast, right? You got a super effective over on iTunes that you can listen to. Good guys too, right? We're supposed to be talking Batman, but yeah, you guys look up those Mafex figures because they are gorgeous, and I want to get one signed by Jim Lee so bad. Idris Elba would be great as John Stewart if they hadn't cast him in the new Suicide Squad. Yeah, he would be good as John Stewart. Funny enough, I think Ramsey, I forget his name, that plays Diggle, and he actually looks like John Stewart. It's funny that they give him a Green Lantern ring. He's not going to be John Stewart. He's just going to be John Diggle pretending to be John Stewart. But I mean, it's a different universe. Why can't he play John Stewart? I mean, he looks the part too. I forget what Idris Elba is supposed to be playing in Suicide Squad, though. Someone wants to comment that down below to remind me. That be Gucci. Um, but yeah, I think the Green Lantern film is supposed to be both John Stewart and Hal Jordan too, like a buddy cop thing. So we'll see what they do for the casting there. Yeah, yeah. Any other questions by anyone at all? We've been on here for about 43 minutes, right? I've allowed myself about an hour or so wiggle time. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, I've kind of run the gambit on topics that were in my head on what I want to talk about. Watch Stranger Things. I do watch Stranger Things. Why? Is there something on Stranger Things I'm not thinking about? Um, yeah, I'll leave it open for you guys to ask questions if you want to. If not, then I can end this video. A couple of side notes while you guys, if you want to post questions. I am going to be updating my bio down below to include my Instagram, my personal Instagram. I also have a side Instagram that I do just to post my D&D pictures. It's just there. It exists. I am when I play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm a very visual person, so I have to draw all the characters out. Um, so I have that. I also have my clothing line that I have going with my partner. I'm gonna make sure the link for that is down over there. Purchase some clothing. We're gonna be having our Father's Day as well as keto line coming out next week or so. So we have that going, and of course Patreon. Guys, please support. It'd be fantastic. $1. That's all I ask. I hate asking for money, right? Patreon's a great thing. I'm just terrible at asking for money because I'm such a fucking self-sufficient person. But in these times, it would be, especially seeing I have no job. So, I got a couple questions going on here. First, if you had to rank every DC film or just top five, what would they be? Every DC film. Ready? This is right off the top of my head, in no particular order, right? Batman '89. And listen, is this ranking based off quality or is this ranking based off what I like? Let's go by what my favorites are. Batman '89, Batman Begins, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, and the first Superman with Christopher Reeves. If I had to pick, um, yeah, I'd say that'd be it. Next, they haven't confirmed who he is yet. He's supposed to be Deadshot, but they decided to rewrite it so in case Will Smith wanted to come back in the future. Oh, well, thank you for the update. Thank you. What's your ideal scenario for Batman retiring his cowl? My ideal scenario is probably number one's ideal scenario is, but here we go. If I can control Batman retiring from the cowl, I am a big fan of the concept of families. I think that I like the idea of Superman having a son or multiple kids. I like the idea of legacy that goes with characters. So I'm going to take a lot of stuff that's been recent with Batman and kind of play it into my what if. I think Batman and Selena should have a kid, right? And it should be Helena. And Batman is Batman for the next, 20 or so years until he's in his 50s or 60s and he retires, right? And then when he retires, he will retire with two children, Damian and Helena, and he will be with Selena, right? Kind of a happy ending. Here, we're going to do a twist, right? But the cowl is picked up yet again by Terry McGinnis. I mean, as much as I think Dick should be the rightful heir to the throne, I would have different plans for him and have Terry be the next Batman with Bruce and Selena kind of supporting him in the background. And that would be the evolution. Or if you want to go the other way around, if you want to be extreme, you can have him retire and be the next commissioner and have Dick be Batman. Either way, I do want a happy ending for Batman because I think the tragic ending is so fucking cliche. And they're kind of setting it up. And then you can have Helena be the Huntress or Batwoman or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. Next. Um, have you watched Rosemary's Baby 1968 movie? No, I have not watched that. If it's good, let me know. Maybe I'll give it a watch. Next. Hi there. Are you very excited to watch Wonder Woman 84 coming out this year in August? Yes, I am pumped. I think the trailer did a good job at winning me over. Maxwell Lord has always been one of my favorite antagonists in comics. It looks gorgeous. I think the story is going to be kind of cliche. But I don't go to superhero films for overly complex Nolan-esque fucking stories. I just want to see Wonder Woman Cheetah fucking fight it out. And I'm really curious to see how they use Maxwell Lord. I'm pretty pumped for it. Next comment is truly neat. I'm a huge fan of Terry McGinnis being a successor. Yeah, I am too. Like I kind of said, although I think Dick is technically the better successor, I think it's natural to incorporate that history of Batman with Batman Begins, and have that kind of be the next step, right? But I think Batman can have his happy ending and at the same time still be, because it would make more sense. I think a grim and dark Batman's a terrible teacher for a new Batman, right? I think having that Dick as a Batman can't convey the right life lessons to someone like Terry. I think it needs to be more of a seasoned, level-headed Batman who has a bit of happiness in his heart to be able to say, like, hey, son, this is where I went wrong. This is what you do. You can even fucking throw a crowbar in there and have Terry be Bruce's real son with Selena. And, I don't know, throw that in there. But hey, anyways. I was sold as soon as I saw her in that golden armor in the trailer. Yeah, fucking looks Kingdom Come beautiful. Kingdom Come all over my face. It is a gorgeous looking armor. Yeah, that movie just looks beautiful overall. They now have the Legos coming out, dude. tempted. I don't know if you guys know this, right? But I might as well get up. As you can see, my room is in disarray. Look at all the comics on the floor. Right, and I've put away a lot of my figures, although I've kept my legacy collection stuff up. I'll show that in a bit. But I do have a substantial amount of Legos, and I only do the DC stuff. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Batman v Superman, Batmobile, the Batwing, the traditional Batmobile, the Batboat, Batcopter, Bat Double Boat. There's Joker's thing there, Lex Luthor, Riddlers. So, yeah. Didn't really need to see that, but I would like to get the new Lego set. And like I said, the only other thing I have displaying right now is my Lightning collection, right? And all my Red the Ranger figures. I just got these two badasses this week because, not going too far out of my way for the figures of this line, but that Golden Batman just stood out. So yeah, I think this is a good place to stop right now. If you guys had fun with this video, let me know. I had fun doing it. Maybe next time I'll do a pure Q&A and give you guys a little bit more heads up in time, because I really didn't give you guys much time to prepare for this. But I would like to do another one. So just give me feedback, let me know, and yeah, we'll go from there. So thank you very much for watching. This is Andrew saying peace out.